What's up, kittens and intergalactic family? What's going on? I was just reflecting on. Well, first, I started off this morning reflection with I have no idea why Edward Barnesi. Well, I do understand because today's like technically Christmas Day, the bank holiday or the Christian holiday if you celebrate however you view. I woke up thinking about Edward Barnesi and consumerism. If you don't know who he is, there is a documentary. It's like 4 hours long. It's called Century of Self. And it talks about Edward Barnesi and how he was Freud's nephew and he utilized psychological strategies and tools to essentially reprogram the mindset of modern day consumerism. Because I woke up thinking about him, I then was searching on YouTube University to see what was up. And I saw that there was another documentary, so I started watching that one. I really shout out to all the video essay content creators here on YouTube. I delight so very much in the thought, the concepts, the ideas. I feel that if more content was created like that for the modern day school system, I had to stop the video and now I'm back. The modern day school system, aka primary school, Montessori schools, all these different schools, having content created in such a way that is both visually stimulating, auditorily stimulating, and gives the space for somebody to then continue to look further within the topic, this new topic, look further into, now they have a baseline, they have the concept of, they've been exposed. Now it's the ability to go and look and find more information, books, songs, art, whatever it may be, to determine for themselves their thought about their own their own thoughts, their own opinion, their own perception, their own knowledge of that content. These video essays are so good. I'm just thank you. I love it. Okay, I digress. And also, and I also understand the importance of the consideration of these things because of needing to support the critical thinking, the choice-making skills, the decisiveness, the removal of the uncertainty of fear to try new things, keeping that growth mindset, not staying in a static mindset, not staying in a fixed mindset, allowing space for individuals to explore themselves in a multidimensional aspect of the tangible here in the secular world, the spiritual of what's nourishing, which as we move out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius, this transition of Pisces and religion and now Aquarius and more spirituality and understanding this experience from a newer perspective, a different radio station. And no radio station is better or worse than another. It's just what are you in frequency with at that time? Because I think of it as if I'm on a radio station or I'm listening to a song on Spotify or what have you, the frequency of that noise, the frequency of that sound, the frequency of that experience is satisfying my desire to stop and engage with that content or whatever that is more than changing it. So I'm in harmony with that. And that's okay. It's a process of figuring out, okay, I don't always have to stay on this radio station. I can change. I can, even if it's you come back to that radio station at a different time of the day. Maybe within that macro experience of the radio station, there's a particular song or a particular show that resonates with you at that time, whatever it may be. Like, there's just a quantum possibility of options of what can happen. Okay. Whoa. I kind of went on a tangent again. Anyways, what I'm doing right now is I told you, I like to project my Spotify and I like to read the lyrics of these different songs. And I was listening to this one song and I was just started thinking about it. It made me think about the dating experience and my reflection on what that has been like for me to, one, get over this sort of self-righteousness of I am not on a different frequency, I'm on a better frequency than other people who use online dating, because I'm not that type of person. Like, and trust me, I still think I feel like I actually pretty evenly have met people, both, as I like to say, out in the wild, like just in the world, coffee shops, grocery stores. I was making friends at the car dealership, okay? Like, while I was waiting for my car to be fixed. Like, and some of these people that I just randomly met over the past couple of years have become some of my closest energetic exchanges on a fairly regular basis here in this dimension. James agrees. I just heard him make some noises. 12/25/2023. During my, this is all in my opinion, during my ascension, the content that I began consuming at a very high rate was a lot of like male content creators. Like, I really like watching content on YouTube. Like, absolutely. Like, it is a joyful way for me to explore. And I started off with what I think even a lot of guys started off with. I started listening to Joe Rogan. I started listening to the roommates. And yeah, I was even listening to Kevin Samuels content because I wanted to know what was the mindset, like what was the, like, I was looking for a mindset change. I was looking for new content. And because the area that I was in was on YouTube, it just was a lot of male content creators kept coming up. And even in books, like when I think about Tony Robbins, very early on, early 20, well, mid like 2020, I found like Tom Bilyeu. And then I got into all of like that, Eric Weinstein, Dan Siegel, Jordan Peterson, like all these people, like that was the content that was available for me on YouTube that kept, the algorithm kept populating. So these were the people that I was watching. This is how my brain really like resynthesized. And I consider this because of newer, well, they're not newer, they're newer to me in my universe, content creators such as like Diary of a CEO, Steven, apologies, I don't remember his last name, Chris Williamson. These are content creators who were watching the same content that I was watching on my experience and implemented it. So I see the data very clearly of the people who had been teaching, then the people who were teaching too, implementing, integrating, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and then creating these super innovative, forward-thinking concepts of education to see, okay, here is the content, how to pollinate that information now to the souls that are assigned to that person, to get them to not only retain the information, have access to the information, and then acquire it as knowledge. That it's no more speculation, it's no more perception, it is knowledge. And it's super cool to, I mean, I'm still consuming this content, which I think it was, the interview between Andrew Huberman and Chris Williamson, where Andrew made the comment about, that's the cool thing about podcasting, is that because every show has its own essence, its own fingerprint, it is watching and hearing and interacting with people from their multidimensional self. Because the way that the host on First We Feast is going to interview the people that are on his show, compared to how Chris Williamson is going to interview his guests, to how Jordan Peterson is going to host an in-person live, to how the two hosts at Almost 30 are going to engage, compared to Lacey Phillips at To Be Magnetic is going to reflect on something. Like, everybody is able to take in the information and then share it out effectively, and then let the souls that are assigned to them gravitate and engage with that content. Like, I think this is like a super cool time to be self-developing, reflecting, engaging with content, because you can literally see people from so many different perspectives, to be able to truly make a more decisive action choice of whether or not the content is or is not speaking to you. Like, is it for you? It's not like you're going to go through all of this stuff. You can just like watch a couple of hours of content to determine whether or not the story is cohesive. Does it feel authentic? Does your soul resonate with these people? Can you hold, and even if they don't, can you hold their truth with your truth? Can you sit there and say, oh, that's curious, I hadn't thought about that. Or, oh, I did think about that, and that is not accurate in my universe because blah, blah, blah. Whatever it may be. So always allowing for the ability for growth and learning and strengthening of one's own abilities to discern, one's own intuition, one's own true ability to hold many truths at one time, to create that more, I wouldn't necessarily say empathy, create just more space for the 8 billion thought bubbles that we all encompass as fragments of source. So it's just like, even if the thought bubbles aren't lining up in that area, it doesn't mean, one, that there aren't other areas of similarities, and also it's still a version of the total self expressing itself with a different opinion, a different option, a different programming. Okay. Also, I highly suggest, if you're on YouTube, you have a little moment, to check out the songs on right now. Satisfaction by David Guetta and Benassi, which is so good. And what makes it creme de la creme chef's kiss is the music video. So I highly, highly, highly suggest checking it out. It's Satisfaction, David Guetta, Benassi. The The art, it's a visual audio music video. It's so cool. It's how I've been feeling, this sense of like just continuous peeling. It's like macro, micro, macro, micro. You know, the good old affirmation alarm popped on mid-conversation, which is fine because one, I wanted to change the playlist. I had kind of gotten over what Spotify was giving me, and I really needed some water. I am in the world of reusing glass jars. So this is some olive oil that I was using for my bulletproof coffee, and then was able to use it now as a water jug. And also, I really like big jars like this because I really like iced tea. Shout out to the decaffeinated black tea pods from Trader Joe's. I really like them. It tastes like, well, at least in mine, it tastes like authentic sun tea, like these little pods. So I like to use these big jugs because in the morning when I'm like heating up my water for whether I'm doing like hot water and apple cider vinegar or hot water and lemon, I will, I'm already heating up the kettle. So I'll just like make a giant thing of tea, let it sit out on the counter in the morning, and then pop it in the fridge like around lunchtime. So then around dinner time, I have iced tea. And whether I want, like, I had gotten like frozen strawberries, mangoes, and pineapples, I think was in there. Shout out to Olive Garden. I love their peach iced tea because the way that they present it is it's iced tea and then they have the frozen peach slice in there. So I absolutely love that because I'm already having iced tea, so now it's going to be colder because it's a frozen fruit. And it adds like a nice flavor to the fact that it's decaf black tea. And it really does taste like sun tea to me. So anyways, that's what I do so I like can have alternative to just water, which although water is important, which I say that and then I also want to get off on a tangent because I was reading a book about this tribe, I think in the Amazon rainforest perhaps, where they don't even drink water. The women chew on these leaves and then spit them in possibly a coconut, and then it ferments, and then that's what like the guys drink, and every woman has a different flavor, and it changed my mind about the fact that, again, like the 13-month calendar, people out here surviving fine without water. It's curious. Yet still, I feel like they were still, though, close to the water. I'll have to relook into it. I just know that. Oh, this song just came on. Sweet Dreams by Rez and FKNSYD. I like the, it feels like very like 80s to me. It makes me want to twirl a glow stick. This version. Okay, Sweet Dreams are made of this. Also, curious words. I just feel like I'm full of random thoughts today, so I'm just gonna keep sharing them. I'm reflecting a lot on this dating experience that I've had with this online dating. First, I really had to get over myself and be like, it's okay to try this out. Because there's a lot that I can do independently for my self-development and my self-exploration and ascension and all this stuff. And also needing other people to reflect back, yes or no, whether or not am I able to actually implement these theories, these strategies, these tools? Like, can I actually do it? Like, that requires being in community. That requires being in an energy exchange with other people to determine. And that's as simple as if someone cuts me off when I'm driving, that quick season of that person being there, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, can I remain calm and still bless them? Be like, you know what? They're in a hurry. Space and grace. Love them. I've been there type thing, being able to do that automatically. And then also being able to be expanded by those souls who have a different knowledge, a different perspective that is going to enhance, expand, move forward your own current level of understanding. Like being able to be on that spectrum of the continuation of what is being reflected. I consider it to be like the mentor or the mentee, or the receiver of the message or the messenger. Knowing that it will always go back and forth. And sometimes that experience is happening within oneself, and giving the space to be like, oh, I am in the experience of this reflection of the lesson and then the blessing. Okay. This is something to consider. Individuals, I feel like, in the dating experience, what I'm hearing a lot of is this unrealistic expectation. I'm going to strike that from the record because I don't want to label it. I hear this point of view from divine feminine energies that they are desiring more attention from their divine masculine counterpart. And I understand this. And my question is, how are divine masculine energies, if they're between the ages of right now, of this day, 30 to even, I'll say 30 to 38, even 40. I'll give them even 40. Because I was like, they were 37. So they're at the end of going back 3 years ago of when the world shut down. The world, no one knew if they were going to see another day. There was serious concern like this. Whether it was fleeting or whether it was persistent and even consistent to this day. This uncertainty of what the future is bringing. What will that mean? So this inner self-reflection at some capacity triggered for people to determine whether or not they were living a life that was authentic, was in alignment, was something that they actually wanted to be living. Had they had enough, or did they want to keep cultivating the experiences that they were experiencing? And a lot of people also started learning, like sediment, like a violently shaken snow globe. All the pieces started settling to the bottom. And suddenly, there was this moment of deep hermit mode energy of isolation and introspection and self-reflection of who am I? What am I here for? What am I doing? And I think this was very important to be able to have the quantum leap, the collective quantum leap, to restabilize, reset the foundational energies to allow for the mass ascension, the swarms of ascension through many timelines at once. Some brothers did not make it through for whatever reason, however their soul decided that they were not going to continue forward with the experience. And honoring their souls for the contrast of what it means to be here now and to continue moving forward. Getting on a bit of a tangent. Reeling it in. There are so many divine masculine energies that if they've been continuously grinding through this experience that we've had of complete uncertainty, like needing to faith it every day, Sometimes some people needing to face it every second, every minute, every hour. That it's going to work. It's going to work out. Just pushing through, continuing, moving, going. I want to say, like, have some compassion for and some space for these divine masculine energies that literally have been trying to do their very best during this experience and still are still looking to create, still even considering being kind, being generous, being chivalrous, being willing to spend time, a currency that was so uncertain for so long and still is very much today, because you never know when your soul has contracted to depart. So really understanding that time is the currency that is truly indispensable, and really figuring out how to spend the time most authentically. What I'm trying to get at is give these divine masculines a freaking break. If they're right now working 40, 50, 60, 90, 100, 1,000 hours in this capitalistic rat race because they have a vision, they have a purpose, they can verbally express to you, maybe even show you a whole ass business plan of what it is they want to contribute to this world. Give them a break. Because not every single person out here is even considering that, even has the willpower, the self-discipline, the curiosity, the wisdom, the understanding, the love, the hope, the faith to continue moving forward in a positive way, to not spray you with their trauma, to not continuously use you as an emotional dumpster, as a sexual dumpster, to respect you enough to say, you know, right now I'm really hustling and I know that you want to spend time with me, and it's okay. They will make time for you. You have to consider, how are you supporting and nourishing and pouring fresh water into their ascension of their divine purpose to support the souls that are assigned to them. Because by second degree of separation, as a divine purpose partner to this divine masculine that is being intentional, that is having inspired action, that is showing up to the world authentically as themselves, day in and day out, consistently. Consistency. That is a key point here. Do you see the consistency? And can you check yourself before you wreck yourself? In the sense of understanding that the Hollywood experience of what the energy exchange is may not be your story. And that's okay. Because if you're understanding the way that the universes are to be zippered together to prosper and propel the divine union's purpose, and sometimes that is the divine feminine pouring that fresh water into the divine masculine to continue to support their creativity and being able to stay at home to steward the souls in which have been called to you to nourish in this dimension, to come through you as the portal, through that divine union as a portal. Taking care of them, nourishing them, stewarding them, being a role model for them, so that the souls in which they have assigned to them can exponentially be further along in the acceleration of understanding and self-development and knowing of, yes, we are all thought bubbles. We are all a part of the same source. We are all a part of the same light source. We need to continue to move forward to harmonize with all of our brothers and sisters throughout every single option of timelines. That's the unconditional love. There is no, because there is an infinite number of possibilities of what can happen, The unconditional love is the blank check to love all those options, no matter what. Holding on to them in love, not in resentment, not in uncertainty, not in any negative frequency other than divine, pure love.